we got ourselves a good chapter this week. With a couple of big points, ranging from, Nami and Jinbei being reunited with Chopper and the others, as well as Pedro. Plus, the reemergence of the stealth of the rest of the arc, although Sanji might have fucked that up himself. Basically, the Big Mom Pirates, led by Mont-d'Or, or however you pronounce that, they went over which ones they had already taken care of, such as, Big Mom taking out Brook, firsthand, which we'll get to in more depth in a second. Pedro blowing himself up with Tamago, more or less, confirming that. Which reminds me, Tamago looks really weird, like shit. Looks like an actual chicken now, but I guess that's just part of his devil fruit. I guess he can't revert back. So be it. And then we have Opera trying to hide his mistakes of Jinbei breaking out Nami and Luffy. Which means the rest of the prisoners that were inadvertently freed probably didn't regain consciousness after, their books were burned. After their book was burned. I think Jinbei might have only burnt the book that Nami and Luffy were. So no Impel Down level breakout at the time being, sadly, like many of us thought. And speaking of theories that were disproven, many people wanted to know, what did Jinbei get taken? And because there were no body parts taken, we assumed his lifespan got taken. And that because of that, it would be that Jinbei would probably die either at the end of the arc, as he's joining the Straw Hats, or die, somewhat after, maybe after an arc or two with them, just as a repercussion of it. Or maybe his lack of, lifespan would be something that they would have to fight Big Mom for. In the end, he backed out, not as a chicken, but as his instincts told him that it was not a good idea. And Pedro backed that up when he told the others that. Because as we know from Pedro's backstory, Beppo's relative, never been stated if it's his father or not, but his relative, at the very least, got his lifespan taken. Hell, Pedro got his lifespan taken. So in the end, that wheel was, a lose-lose situation. And in the end, it's actually a good thing that he decided to take back his, at least official thing. Because he thought he could just get away alive. He realized very quickly that was not the case. Although Pedro managed to pull it off, it wasn't the same. So, in the end, Jinbei could not do that properly. And instead, had to seemingly take the L in order to bust out of Big Mom's territory with the Straw Hats alongside him. So that's good. But like I was saying before, thanks to Opera, hiding his failure, everyone can go back to being stealthy because Pedro is thought to be dead. So is Nami and Luffy for some reason. And Jinbei, who is still technically part of Big Mom's crew, in their eyes at least, is not thought to have rebelled right off the bat, even though he definitely has. So, as for the communication between the members of the Big Mom's crew, I think it might have something to do with the fact that they fear her so much they don't want to fail. That's what Opera showed. And on top of that, the chess soldiers also have no communication, because the one that was taking care of Sanji at one point ended up falling asleep in his bed, and because of that, people thought Sanji was asleep, and for at least the duration of the chapter, nobody thought he was an issue. Until Bobbin came across him, wanted to eat Luffy's meat. No, not sexually, like the actual meat that was cooked and hidden inside the basket. I know I'm a big lover of sex jokes, but I'm not making one today. He literally tried to eat the signature Luffy-styled meat. And just like most of us were thinking, fuck no, get your hands off that meat, Sanji kicked his ass in the face. On the other hand, I'm surprised Bobbin's conscious after that. Because that was a sneak attack, first of all. So his defenses weren't really even up. And yet Bobbin has proven his worth. Because we know that he's somewhat more powerful. But it hasn't really been shown that well. We finally get to see that he can take a kick from Sanji to the face through a wall and just literally say, "The fuck do you think you're doing? Like, you ain't rebelling, are you?" So yeah, with that being said, Sanji is now headed straight towards where Luffy is. Which is good, because honestly, I didn't want that to drag out a lot. That was literally the only part of the story that felt like it was padding the length of the arc. Even though it's supposed to be a little bit more faster paced. So thank you, Oda, for pushing that plot point along. Even though you could have just had them met up while they were still in the castle, I am actually fine with this now that you've sped it up and given us an end to that. On top of that, let's go more in depth about the fight of Big Mom versus Brook. First of all, it really wasn't Big Mom versus Brook. It was more Brook versus Big Mom's homies. Although Big Mom was most absolutely present throughout the entire thing. It would seem that, you know, things took a little turn for the worse in the end. But Brook really, really held his own. Like, he fucked Prometheus up. Gave them their first wounds. That's a testament. Like, Brook's playing dead, but he's just waiting for an opening. And honestly, quite honestly, it's good to see that Oda is acknowledging just how strong Brook really is and how good of a matchup his powers were, considering he still lost. They still were a really decent, unique matchup versus Big Mom's. I really wish we could have seen how the fight gone down because of just how unique of a matchup that is. But in the end, we can at least assume, or maybe not assume, because Big Mom didn't want him dead, that she couldn't take his soul out because he is just a soul. I don't know. We can't really know that. But he could affect the homies, and that's the best part of it. And his power is insane. If the entire Straw Hats went at the homies, they might have taken them out, only to get their asses wrecked by Big Mom, of course. But then again, maybe Big Mom was holding the homies back so that they couldn't kill him. Not that Zeus could have done anything. Lightning doesn't do shit to Brook. But in the end, it seemed as if Brook... maybe Brook didn't lose. Maybe he just thought that the best way to stay alive was to play dead. Even though he's obviously alive. He is a little shaken at the fact that Big Mom's going to hold him around like an ornament for God knows how long. But it allows him to be in the center, it allows him to get all the information he needs, including the fact that he was one of the few people, aside from Pedro, who didn't know about Pudding's, betrayal. Not really betrayal, but act. Now he knows firsthand. It was kind of funny. It seemed like, why Pudding? You saying such vulgar shit? But, yeah. He knows now, and honestly, we knew the entire, thing behind, Pudding's plan with Big Mom. So restating it wasn't exactly a big thing, but it did give us a little inkling on why it was stated to us in the first place. In other words, the scenario between that and Reiju. Mainly, Reiju sniffed her out, and Pudding decided it would be a great idea, aside from the terrible idea of monologuing, it would be a great idea to test out how the guns work. And they work. They work very well. So now Pudding knows that she can use the guns. Big Mom knows that the weapons work. And, it just seems good. It just seems like everything's going towards where it should be. Although cake is still a big thing that kind of scares me. Like, is she really going to put their blood on the cake? No. Black tea? Maybe. I don't know. But what do you guys think about the entirety of this chapter? Like, was it good? Did you guys wish it was a bit longer? Or what do you guys think will happen next week? since we do not have a break. Thank God. But, actually, there was one other thing I want to talk about. Like, what kind of theories do you think would be disproven next? Because the Jinbei dying theory was a huge one. Everyone was jumping on that train. Everyone. All of the major reviewers that I could see were jumping on that train. So, for that to have been debunked, or I'll gladly have been debunked thanks to Jinbei's wonderful instinct, what do you think is up for debunking by Oda himself next? There are a bunch of different ones, such as Robin dying, or Brooks awakened Devil Fruit, that even I jumped on. So if you guys have any interesting One Piece theories, leave them down in the comments below, and we'll chat on them, and maybe I'll make a whole video, detailing some of them, which ones are likely to be debunked, and which ones are most likely to continue. And if you guys haven't seen my video on Brooks awakened Devil Fruit, please do check that out. Once again, this has been Smalls of Black Knight 94. I hope you guys liked this video. Don't forget to like, leave that comment down below, and share it with your friends who read One Piece. And most definitely of all, please subscribe and join this wonderful manga community. We got 104 subscribers, finally over that 100. So, join us. You will not be disappointed. Smalls out.